Assalamu alaikum students, this is Ms. Beena. I am here again with the remaining lecture of the last chapter, Making Hard Water Soft. In the previous lecture, we discussed that hard water is often softened for use in factories, laundries and homes, and we discussed four different methods by which we can remove hardness from the hard water. Out of them, first was boiling. This removes temporary hardness by causing calcium carbonate to precipitate. It is costly because it uses a lot of fuel. Second was distillation. We studied that in distillation, the water is boiled first, then steam is collected, cooled, and condensed. Distilled water is then, it becomes pure water. Third was adding washing soda. It removes temporary and permanent hardness by precipitating calcium carbonate. So we will add washing soda into the hard water and the chemical reaction will take place and the hard water will turn into soft water by precipitating calcium carbonate. And the last and the very important method is ion exchange. In this method, unwanted ions are replaced with harmless ions. So in this method, we studied that we'll use the ion exchange resin and it will be having sodium ions weakly attached. And when we'll take the hard water and we will allow it to cross from the ion exchange resin, then in this way the ions will be exchanged between the ion exchange resin and hard water, and the hard water will turn into soft. How well do these methods work? Now we'll discuss this topic and we will study an experiment and we'll find out that which of these methods is more effective in turning the hard water soft. A simple experiment will help us collect samples of water softened in different ways and then compare them with distilled water using a lather test. So we are performing a lather test in which we will take four different samples of water, A, B, C and D. A, B and C are those samples that are softened by different methods and D will be distilled water. Measure a sample of water 20 centimeter cube into a conical flask. Add a little soap solution from a burette and shake the flask carefully. Add more soap solution a little at a time until a lather lasting at least half a minute is obtained. Note the volume of soap solution used. In this lather test, we are going to find out that which sample of water is using the maximum amount of soap solution. For this purpose, we have taken this samples of water, 20 centimeters cube in the conical flask. We'll take the four conical flasks and then we'll add soap solution from the burette into the conical flask and we'll mix that. And then we'll see the results. In this experiment, water from the same tap was used for A, B and C. For A, it was left untreated. For B, it was boiled. For C, it was passed through an ion exchanger. And D is distilled water. So here you can see the difference between all these four samples. Let's see the results now. A was untreated tap water. It was the water that used 10 centimeter cube soap solution. B, which was boiled, it used 7 centimeter cube soap solution. C was softened by ion exchanger method. It used 0.5 volume soap solution, and D was distilled water. It also used 0.5 centimeter cube soap solution. So here you can analyze that the least soap solution is used by that sample of water which was softened by ion exchange method. It was just behaving as distilled or pure water. A little more about ion exchangers. Now let's discuss something more about the ion exchangers. Ion exchanger for water softening can be any size, from small ones designed for home use to large ones for factories. A typical ion exchanger for the home has two tanks. One contains the resin baths. The other contains a concentrated solution of sodium chloride brine. A meter records how much water has gone through the resin. The brine is then automatically flushed through an appropriate stage. So ion exchangers are also used for domestic purposes, and if we purchase it, then a single ion exchanger will be having two tanks. One will be consisting of resin baths and the second will be having the concentrated solution of sodium chloride, which is called brine. So when it will start turning the hard water into soft water, then the meter will record the amount of water which has gone through the resin and the brine will automatically flush over the resin. So in this way it can be used. Ion exchangers aren't used only for water softening. For example, they can be designed to remove nitrate ions or to recover valuable metal ions from waste solutions. So, ion exchangers are not just utilized for turning hard water into soft water, but it also is used for different purposes because it is exchanging the ions. So sometimes ion exchanger resins are made to exchange cations, that is the positive ions, and sometimes ion exchanger resins are used to exchange the negative ions or anions. So it depends on the method you are using, or it depends on the requirement of the reaction. They aren't always made of plastic either. Some are made of natural or synthetic compounds called zeolites. These are silicates in which some silicon atoms are replaced by aluminum atoms. They have an open porous structure. So the ion exchanger resin is not always made up of plastic. Sometimes it is also made up of zeolites. What are zeolites? Zeolites are the naturally occurring minerals, and they can also be produced in the factories. They are the compounds having sodium, aluminum, and silicon, and they are very hard and porous, and they have the ability to absorb ions and water. This was all about this chapter. In this chapter, we studied how can we turn hard water into soft water and which method is more effective in producing the soft water. Go through the chapter, learn it, and solve the remaining questions. There are explain how the experiment shows that A, the tap water contains both types of hardness. B, most of the hardness in it is permanent. So you have to solve these two parts of the question by yourself. Explain question number 2. Explain the structure of an ion exchanger for domestic uses. Solve these questions by yourself and then learn this chapter. Thank you, students. Allah Hafiz.